This trick to get gas for a penny is going to...
Hello, my friends. How you doing? To all the Sneds, the Snedheads, the mustard seeds. It is Saturday, January 27th, and David Snedeker here with Mr. Whistle Whiskers on my lap and Hawk waiting in the wings, pun intended, to join us as Hawk has been without uh, the ability to come to you all for quite some time now. And I, as you know, have been quite busy with a new move, getting into uh, a new home, and have been very full with all of that, and yet very active. If you'll notice on X, my friends, this is not a something that I stop doing when you don't hear my voice. I am quite active, as many of you know, here on X, and I will, excuse me, share that because we're going to spend a lot of time there today, simply because you're looking at, my friends, the new battlefield. This is the battlefield, what we had to deal with in the riots. This picture that you see of me here um, was at the Santa Monica riots. And many of you were with me live on that day. I was casting to several thousand live before um, we were interrupted with uh, a jamming device that they were using to when they looted the stores. I mean, that's literally how absolutely choreographed it was. Because honestly, I didn't think there was, and I'm talking of speaking of the 2020 riots, my friends, and uh, let's just say the 2020 uh, and riot in Santa Monica. I believe it was um, May 29th, and it was quite choreographed. These we find out as this was happening that the people that were taught to disrupt and to riot and to loot were assured that they were not going to be arrested. And if they were going to be arrested, then what you're seeing then is something very, very different. You're seeing them getting out like the next day and seeing what do you call it? I'm actually trying to show you this, and I don't quite know how to do it. Oh, I got to stop the screen share, and then I think I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then yeah. But you get the picture anyway. Um, so it's we know this now, right? And so much that we're finding out now. If you were listening to my voice 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, you were finding out about all these things in real time. Um, we had an incredible team. We had, I would have very few people on my show called The Indoctrination. And, buddy from high school and teammate of mine uh, in Springfield, Illinois, um, Todd Gedeminski, started calling in and got involved in Q, which I had been following since day two, and shared with him, and he kind of took this baton and just ran this incredible marathon along with his lovely Cindy Johnson, the love of his life, and so it became a very solid on-air team. They would call in, so it would be their voice and it'd be my face in the studio. After I'd been walking the beach for many, many shows, I think I had done couple hundred shows before I even went inside. Something to that effect. Just walking the beaches of Santa Monica and Malibu and Topanga, and just talking and just telling people what I had found and what I had discovered in my awakening um, that started 18 years ago. And so I would just walk and talk, and more and more people started showing up. And I think the first day I probably had 3 or 4. I went Facebook Live, and I think a couple thousand saw my disappointment with California taking away our medical exemption for childhood vaccines on May 22nd, 2019, and how that was the system that the elite had set up, that the people that controlled humanity, that controlled our food, that controlled our water, that controlled our air, that controlled the pesticides that ruin the soil, the chemtrails that ruin our atmosphere, ruin our lungs and our brains with the barium and aluminum ball and strontium in the air that we breathe and our children breathe and our pets breathe. And then making the soil aluminum as it falls to the ground, making crops harder to grow, and the necessity for the genetically modified, patented foods by those that rule us had created. And so I tracked these growing up, learning about other players, because I was a basketball player, I was a football player. So you had to size up the guy that you're going up against. You had to size up the team that you were playing against. If you're not doing well, you call timeout. You get your boys together and you say, "Hey guys, we got to do things differently. This guy's doing that. That guy's doing this. This guy's doing that." I've done that thousands of times with different teammates. One, by the way, that was very famous, couple that were, but it was sent to me today, actually. And I'm going to share that with you. And then get on with this point. My friends, we have experienced an incredible gift. Okay, and let me pull this back, and let me get this on another platform, and let me add this. Hey, Hawk is in the house, my friends, and I'm going to pause that. I'm going to come back to this, but we want to get Hawk in because Hawk is on his phone and he's got limited time. Hawk, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing great, brother. How you doing?
I'm really freaking annoyed.
Dude, you got to
But
let off some steam. Will you
yeah,
just go ahead? Let off some
uh,
steam.
this is the thing.
You got the
I,
floor.
you saw I put that post up on X yesterday in regards to CenturyLink, right?
Yes, that was
Okay.
great. Yeah.
So what I would really love for people to do is to go over and share the heck out of it. Okay. Because let me tell you something. Right after you shared it, Dave. Okay.
Uh-huh.
What happened was I got a message from a CenturyLink person, okay, stating, "We're sorry to hear that you're going through the trouble that you're going through. Nobody should go without internet for 9 days in a row. This is totally unacceptable. I'm going to do everything that I can in order to fix it." So, well, I got the whole conversation, between that person and myself, and you know how they can access your router from where they are. So I saw that he accessed my router and tried to reset my router and everything. And he says, "Okay, well, it's definitely not your router." He says, "I'm going to check on a few things." And he says, "Oh, there's an outage in your area." I said, "Yeah, I was the one who reported it 9 days ago." And
Dude, unbelievable.
So basically, the residential people around me that use CenturyLink, well, they kind of don't miss the internet because they're farmers. They work pretty much from sun up to sundown, but they do miss being able to get their feed orders in time, get weights and measures and everything that they need to send off to these companies that purchase their meats, and at the same time, it really hit them at a bad time because they're trying to buy seed right now for the upcoming planting season.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they've got to have access to the outside world. This is
Right,
huge.
right. And I mean, you can make some phone calls and things to different companies, but you don't get your products from the same company every year. You end up going with different companies because they might have something better available that's non-GMO. And that's a huge thing for these guys is non-GMO.
Which is what I was just talking about. I was just talking about this. I mean,
it's huge, Dave. It's huge. Especially for the old timers that live around me, and most of the farmers around me, I would say are I would say anywhere between 65 to 90 years old.
Jeez, man. Hey, by the way, I've got your tweet up. Continue. I just wanted to let you know that I've got the tweet up, and folks, go to Hawks Mustard Seeds, Hawks Mustard 1 at Hawks Mustard 1. Click this and please share this again. Okay.
Yeah. And you'll see that there's 2 posts that I did in regards to them. This one, I did a second one, which is the one that you have on right now. A clear warning to all people getting ready to open a business. If you are seriously looking at CenturyLink as your go-to to provide service for your business, don't do it. Okay. Yeah. And it was after I posted that guy got in contact with me. Okay. And it was at the same time you had just shared my original message. And
that's here. I have it up now.
Oh yeah. And it's basically, this is the thing. I pay $127 a month for internet. I have to pay them in advance every month. Okay, every customer around here has to pay them in advance.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So today's the 27th, and so far this month I've gone 21 days with no internet service. Okay, but they sure took my $127.
Of course they did.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. Even when you call repair anymore, you get either the Philippines, you get Honduras, or you get India.
Yeah.
Okay. Their call center no longer in the United States.
So let's I want to jump off this fairly quickly because I want to get the job done to let people know, to let these people know to, repost this. But also I want to get into stuff that's happening because I want to hear what you've wanted to bark about all day that you haven't been able to.
Oh yeah. Well, there's quite a few things. If people can get that shared out, that would be awesome. Because the more it comes up on CenturyLinks that somebody else is posting it, the quicker they're going to get on this, that they're going to get on the stick. You know, and we'll leave that at that. One of the big things is this Nikki Haley thing. Okay. Now, first off, she's not an American citizen. Okay. She wasn't born in this country. Well, she was born in this country, but she was an anchor baby. Okay. So basically her parents were here in the States for 5 years. Okay. Before they got citizenship illegally. Okay. And then they got citizenship and then she, you know, and then she did her thing. Okay.
Excuse me. I'd just like to make a correction here.
Okay.
Her name is not Nikki Haley.
Right.
Her
That is
name
correct.
is Nimrata.
Yes. Nimrata. Oh, she's got a weird name. We thought
Randhawa.
Yeah.
Randhawa.
We thought Ramaswamy was a bad one, you know.
Yeah, well, what the hell, dude? We got two Indians.
Yeah,
like real Indians, not Native American, but real Indians from India.
Yep.
Continue with her parents, but Nimrata.
So her parents came in 1972, and they were not naturalized as citizens until 1977. Okay.
Right.
And she was born in that period of time. Okay. So really, she has absolutely no right. But that video of Chris Sununu standing next to her and her talking about Democratic dollars. Did you see that one?
No.
His eyes just about literally popped out of his head because she was not talking to Republican. She was not talking about talking to Republican donors. She was not talking about Republican voters. She was talking to Democratic voters and Democrat voters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Chris Sununu was like, he was doing like a triple take. Like, what did she just say? No, like what? No way.
So here's the thing that I you know, it's like people that are paying attention we've got 252, by the way, in the house. No notice whatsoever, my friends. I'm sorry. Just, you know, walk a mile in my moccasins. And first of all, you can keep the shoes on you got on because I wear size 15, sometimes 16. Because, you know, as I get on in mileage, the toes seem to extend a bit. So, but I would just say that people were like, well, why I can't believe Dave didn't see that. Well, there's different layers that I want to talk about here, Hawk. And it's kind of like the layers, and I've been talking about this a lot with you, and that is that you know, when I went through a very difficult period, I had to pull away from the matrix. I had to pull away from the indoctrination. I couldn't go in every day and see some, you know, like Nikki Haley having this interview. And I know that was recent. It wasn't back then, but that's just as an example.
Yeah.
You see, I already know that Nikki Haley, Nimrata, is just like Obama, just like what's her face, the other Indian, by the way, Jamaican Indian, Kamala Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, you know, Vivaswamy. Okay. I didn't listen to these people. I don't listen to them. I'm not listening to Nimrata. Why? Because I'm at a level of knowing. And I want this for everybody, that there's a level of knowing and predicting that I was just talking about before you came on, that I had to learn as an athlete, that you had to learn as a Marine. We had to know who our opponent was going to be for that particular day, for that particular moment, right? And so we had to study our opponent
Yep.
and understand our opponent. And right now, my understanding of the opponent is I'm watching this chessboard played from up here and looking down and realizing, because I've I don't have to study each individual opponent. I just have to know their offense, if I could use that
Yep.
analogy. And so knowing their
No, that's
offense,
actually really good.
it, thank you. Hawk, it doesn't matter who they put in. Doesn't matter, because I know their offense, I know their defense, I know their out of bounds plays. Okay. And I know who can shoot free
Yep.
throws and who can't. Okay. So, but it really doesn't matter who they put in, because I know the offense, I know the defense. So Nimrata is just a sub. You know, Vivishwami is
Oh,
just,
absolutely.
he's just a sub. The goal is to take down Trump. Okay. Now, I believe that these people are already compromised, just like all the other politicians that we've figured out are compromised. Epstein Island. I'm sorry, my friends. Epstein Island. These madams. The Playboy Mansion. Okay, on the West Coast, the Epstein Island on the East Coast, and New York City. The fashion industry with Brunel and L Brands, who gave him all this money.
Yep.
These are Mossad / CIA operations that were established as honeypots to get dirt on the people they need to control, because you can only control somebody with money, right? It's like, Hawk, I'll give you
Yep.
20 bucks if you stand on your hands, and you'll go up against the wall and you'll try it and we'll laugh and we'll bust balls, but then I'll be like, Hawk, I'll give you 100 bucks to jump off the second floor. You're like, shut the fuck up. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? We all have limits, okay, as to what we're going to do for money. And
Yeah.
they know this, but they know that the real control is in the ego. The ego, they can manipulate, they can tweak, because nobody wants to go for a coffee and somebody points at them and says, hey, look, Bill, that guy fucks children. And there's video of it and there's proof of it. And he did it and they caught him doing it. And they've been using that bribe, they've been using that blackmail to control him ever since. But the icing on the cake of that is they actually make it enjoyable for them. They give them the limelight. They give them the spotlight. They give them the platinum records. They give them the fancy office. They give them the beautiful homes, the all expense paid trips, the prestige, because not only are they controlling the honeypots, they're controlling the media, which keeps us all from not knowing about this pedophile, blackmail, organ harvesting, terrible, terrible, terrible things from us knowing about all those. The people that are keeping us from knowing about all these things, are they supposed to be not any worse than the ones who are actually doing those things? They're just as bad, if not worse. And so I know this offense. And as I watch them played out and I predict where they're going to go next, like I was talking about in May of 2019, I knew that they had the children with these vaccines, the jabs, the childhood jabs. I knew they had this system down where now we can't religiously go against them and we can't medically go against them. And I knew California was the model for the rest of the country, as is New York in many cases. And so I saw that they had the children and that was moving along swimmingly. Create an event, call it a pandemic, and force everybody to take the shot that's going to save them from the pandemic that wasn't one to begin with.
Yep.
And I saw it play out, and I said, they're coming for the adults next, and they're going to do the same fucking offense because it's the same coach, new players, new venue, new goal. We're coming for the adults because they slipped through the cracks with just a few different jabs that didn't really affect them negatively. Now we got to really get them. Now
Well,
we got to control them.
They have to come after the adults right now. And the reason being is because they want the kids. And the only way that they're going to get the kids is to get rid of the adults.
Well, that's what I just described is a mass genocide over time, over profit. What you're describing is how they're trying to separate us from our children, separate our children from the church, separate the children from each other, because yes, they do want the children.
Well, it's like this is okay. Your show, the indoctrination. Okay. Well, that indoctrination starts at what, 4 years old in kindergarten or preschool, whatever it is. That's where the indoctrination starts. Okay.
Well,
So
the
you eliminate
indoctrination in my model, the indoctrination begins in the womb, with the birth, the westernized, Rockefeller Center, Rockefeller controlled Western medicine birth, immediate vitamin K, not a real thing, not a real vitamin, vaccines right away, jabs right away, getting the mothers to give us formula rather than breast milk. All these things, all these exterior toxins, they've already got the water for the formula is tainted. The milk is shit. The eggs are shit. The grass is shit, because it's all GMO, it's all glyphosate laden. So it starts early with the control, with their pineal gland is already being calcified. Their first painful memory involves their penis or their clitoris, depending on what religion they follow, with circumcision.
Yep.
And that's still justified because of what, sanitary reasons? What, like people don't take a shower like every day or every other day? Maybe back in the day when you're letting that thing hang for fucking a week before you did anything with it. Yeah, maybe it was getting nasty. But come on, people. This is 2024, or in the Hebrew year without the Christ division of it, 5784, I believe it is. Okay, 5,784 years. Supposedly, we've been around a lot longer than that, but we're still steeped in these ridiculous, many of them pagan ceremonies and pagan beliefs, and we're now putting a new, putting a cross on it and calling it Christian. A lot of it, is pagan, goes way back. The Catholic Pope's hat, for crying out loud, is from Dagon, who's a god of, who used to wear the fish on his head. I mean, this is insanity. And so the indoctrination starts way back before then, right? And they're hearing their images. They're hearing the images when the mother is sitting with the father watching an NFL game or watching a scary movie. That the baby is feeling what the mother is feeling. So we're not even in tune with the impact that it has, oftentimes even before birth. But what you're talking about, I think, is at age of 3 is how soon they're trying to get our children to recognize McDonald's golden arches, for example, right? They're doing the pharmaceutical advertisements with the butterfly animated, flying around and making people happy, along with that pill mama just took. Okay. All right. I know actors that did those commercials for pharmaceutical companies, and they literally have to sign a piece of paper that say that they're an actual user of that pharmaceutical, even though they're not, they've never taken that in their life. But these are the pharmaceutical companies controlling that, so people can't come back and say, oh, I was just an actor, I would never take that. Because they know that sometimes actors grow a conscience, especially the ones that haven't been blackmailed, as what we were talking about just a minute ago. So yeah, but go ahead. And then the preschool and the school.
Well, it's the idea that if they kill off as many adults as they can, then they have more children to put through the system that they can lose. Yeah. No different than the 85,000 children that have gone missing from the border. And through their indoctrination of these children, then basically they can raise them as the perfect slaves, because the parents are no longer involved. The parents aren't there. Why? Because they died of this or they died of that. And, same thing with grandparents. You take the family line away. What happens? They have a child free and clear that the system can erase. And unfortunately, it's the truth. Somebody made a comment a couple of minutes ago that Trump said in his speech today that the number one thing in the United States is child trafficking. Child trafficking.
Today. Wow.
Yes, he did. Yep. Yeah. It's 45 said tonight in Nevada. Child trafficking is number one in the USA. It is the biggest money maker worldwide. It makes more money than oil. It makes more oil than gas. It makes more money than any commodities. It makes more money than drugs. It makes more money. It's whether it's through the parts of the children or the actual selling into slavery of the children. What's the best way to get to the children? Eliminate the parents completely.
Well, I mean, this goes to the programming, right? That we've been watching since children. It's since the children are separated from the parents, or the parents are depicted as idiots or not in touch or mean or wicked stepmothers, and it's just there's been a division since for a very long time, having to do simply with just how they can separate us from our parents
Yep.
as children.
And there you go. Right there, John. You said it perfectly. Depopulation, then repopulation. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they'll be populating with exactly what they want instead of what they currently have, you know. And the thing is people are waking up more and more. I mean, I was all gung-ho about friends of mine that were talking about going down to Texas and everything. But
Yeah.
then I saw a video that was put up by a guy this morning that says, listen, you know, that skirmish there that is supposed to be going on, he says it's a half a mile wide. He says, but if you go a
Yeah.
half a mile in either direction, you can walk right through the border without anybody being there. You know, I think it's a ploy that you almost got suckered into there, Dave, on J6. I think that it's a ploy in order to make the group be held accountable for something bad happening. So if you got a mind to go to Texas, don't do it. Don't do it. Watch, wait, be patient.
Yeah.
You'll see, no these split decision, instant decisions, even about sharing content about somebody or something. Wait until it proves out before you click on it and say, oh yeah, I agree, because that may not be the case. And that's one of the reasons that Dave and Todd and Cindy and I and many, many others have been saying to you guys, be careful who you follow.
So
a lot of it clickbait.
Well, I tell you, I want to get into that. Be careful who you follow here in a minute, but I want to go back to what Trump said, okay, and what we're seeing come to surface. And I asked this, many times, folks. If the bad guys were in charge, like if they were still running the show, would Ghislaine Maxwell be behind bars? Would
Alive.
Epstein have been arrested? Would, some of the worst people in the world be getting exposed right now? Okay. This is what's important to understand, is that there's no way that they're in control. And I'll give you an example of this border thing. David Rodriguez texted me earlier. We were back and forth because I was listening to him on a Spaces last night, and he sent me. And oh, by the way, I invited him on, and I've got to send him the link to how to do this. How do I do that, buddy?
You see where it says invite down there at the bottom of the screen?
Yes.
You click the invite. Okay, click that, and then click the copy, and then just send him the link.
Okay.
Yep, copy automatically sends it to your clipboard, so it's the last thing that you. And I'll tell you, what was really cool was I'll say this. I was watching the latest of the Fildo series, Fildo 3.
So listen,
and they were actually, they talked about Nino. They talked about Nino and about Street Fighter and things being said about them that, basically they brought the receipts to the table that no, that's not the kind of people that they are. And they talked about the real personalities, because you got the personality that's there on the camera in front of you. Okay. And then you have the personality of the person who's really You know, it's when the camera comes on, the person can become whoever the heck they want to be. Okay,
So
it's the person behind the camera that you want to get to know. And they really they stood up for Nino. They stood up for Patriot Street Fighter big time. And I give them props for doing that. You know, that was, they changed my mind about a couple of things about Nino. You know,
well, I'll tell you that here's the thing about what they're doing, and I want to just say that I watched much of the show, and I actually Nick and I have been missing each other, like just so busy. Can you mute, bud? So
yep,
busy
yep.
that we are just been missing each other, but want to connect. And because so much of the things that they're talking about, I have lived through. Like I've, they were talking tonight about the Q streaming and how he said that that it was going to be um, that was the new internet. So if the internet goes down, you'll still be able to watch his show on Q streaming. Well, my team, two different beautiful people on my team. I don't want to say who it is because I haven't asked them if that's okay, but let me know that that went down on Phil's show because they know I don't watch it, but they keep tabs on different people for me. Um, and so they let me know, and I let the head of marketing, the CFO, and the CEO of Q Streaming know what was going down. And why did that happen? Why did I let them know that? Well, I had already had a conversation with them about it, and they got to him early on, and he was going to be one of the first ones on that platform. And I'll say this, and I hope you're listening to this, Phil. I warned them about you. I warned them about him. And I said, you're going to regret this decision. Just like the CEO of 7K regrets that decision because I told him the same fucking thing when he got involved with 7K. And I said, don't even, and they're like, listen, people's past, we can't, if, keep people out because of their past. And I said, listen, put the past aside. What he's saying right now is bullshit. It's lies, and it's going to come back and it's going to bite you because he lies about everything. And he did. He lied about gold and silver, and he made people think that silver was going to, be 2,000 an ounce or whatever the hell stupid shit he was saying. And he lied about this new network that people went and signed up for this because they thought they'd be able to stay up when the internet went down. Well, folks, listen, you gotta check this shit. Just it's like, yeah, you can blame Phil, but you know what? Who did? You know who did it? You bought into this shit, okay? And listen, I got nothing but compassion for you because I was buying in to the shit of the mainstream media, okay? Just like you were. I was indoctrinated. And when I started awakening, one of the distinctions that I made was that I wasn't going to just blindly start following the person who continued to say the things that I wanted to hear. And you all got sucked in by a con man who told you things that he knew you wanted to hear. And I posted this on X the other day, and I'll bring it up because it bears repeating, but it's, the key here is that you can't just go to somebody else. And I'm going to go a bit deeper. And I don't necessarily think that Phil's CIA. I think he's just a lying piece of shit. And he's taken in a lot of people and he's hurt this movement. Okay? And I'm going to tell you more about hurting this movement. And I've talked about it before, and I haven't talked about it all the time specifically about this gentleman because I'm sorry, I should never have called him a gentleman. That's on me. I'm sorry. This asshole, okay? I have warned you about this asshole, but I've also warned you about others, and I've told you it's not about the person. It's about the gullibility that they tap into with you because they're telling you what they know you want to hear. The CIA does that. Okay. It was called Operation Mockingbird, now declassified. Everyone knows about it now. Everyone knows, pretty much because it's been declassified. It's man, I got a lot of stuff that I'm posting. Okay, here it is. All right. So my friends, Hawk Marsden won on Twitter for Hawk here, and at Dave Snedeker for me, and that is not it. Forgive me. I am. I just shared the wrong page here. Let's see. Oh, that's why. I think. Okay. Okay. I think this is it. I got too much open, folks. That's the bottom line here. Okay, here we go. All right, so I did this tweet the other day when this ridiculous fucking story came out. Okay, about Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro doing this rap together. Okay. And here's what I said. It's extremely important to understand the C_A, which we know what that is. Q has used that, did not lose their mockingbird grasp of our minds when we left mainstream media. They didn't drop their heads, take their ball, and go home to Langley. They had already doubled down. They already knew what Q had awakened, so they moved their operation more subtly to the alternative media. What is happening now is that the light we shine is exposing all attempts at mind control. And my friends, when you see this guy, Tom McDonald, that everybody's been so excited about, okay, and is awakening so many people with his music and going up against Hollywood and the Hollywood music industry, and you see him giving the devil's horns in this picture with this jackass, Ben Shapiro, who told you to get the jab and then told you that Israel was justified in their genocide of Gaza. Okay. And they're doing a fucking rap song together. Fuck you both. Okay. You have to understand that we are being brain fucked in the mainstream media and the alternative media and the alternative media, because you got jackasses like Phil Godlewski out there. And Trump today was talking about human trafficking, and And we're supposed to believe that he's getting in bed like with Phil Godlewski. Okay. Now, here's what we need to understand. Those of us who are awake, okay? And by the way, folks, I've been at this a long fucking time. You know that. And I've been saying this for a long time. We have had a very, very, very difficult time trying to pry the eyes and ears and mind of those we love away from mainstream media. It has been a daunting and yet impossible task. So much so that we are living in two parallel universes right now. They can't see what we see, and we can no longer look at what they watch. And if we understand that the same machinations that were used by the CIA, who worked closely with Edward Bernays, who had studied his uncle Sigmund Freud's work and learned how to draw the consent of the masses. The CIA, the media was created to control us. They didn't start making great shows and all this awesome stuff because they give a shit about us any more then than they do now. They created Leave It to Beaver so they could sell fucking soap and irons and laundry detergent for the stay-at-home mom. It was just a mind fuck from the get-go. And so for us to try to pry the eyes, ears, and minds away from mainstream media of those that we love, we're not understanding that in the alternative space, we are falling prey to the same people who controlled our minds in the indoctrination. And if it's not the CIA in a concerted effort, okay, then it is somebody who seizes an opportunity for weakness. Do you know how many people have come out of the mainstream? Folks, if you've been in a dark cave for years and years and years and years, and you think you're close to finding your way out, but you need somebody just to help you out the final way, and you run into Godlewski, who charges you for it. You run into Ward. Um, you run into collective consciousness grifter. What the hell's his name? You run into a guy pretending to be JFK Jr. You run into people that are telling you that Trump's going to be back before the end of the month or before the end of next week or before, you run into people that are telling you Nassar and Jassar is going to be here in 2 weeks and 2 months. And you run into people that are telling you that Jim Carrey's playing Joe Biden. You run into people that are, just losing their fucking minds, people that are delaying the real awakening because they're not taking you in the direction that you should be going. And you've handed over your mind once again to the awaiting grifter, the awaiting person that is going to take advantage of the situation, or you're running into somebody in the alternative media that the CIA has control over, that the Mossad has control over. And that's these clowns that I just shared with you. And but the thing is that they're edgy. He's tatted up, he's a rapper, he's edgy. Dude, they've been getting you with that shit all along. Dr. Dre, badass rapper, wears a fucking dress. I just watched Cat Williams, story about Cat Williams, and how he's calling out all these brothers for wearing a dress because it's emasculating the black male and the white male too. But this was a topic on that, and this is how they're mind fucking us. And you guys think this is a game, and you guys think that we're divisive if we point out clowns that are keeping us from the real awakening here? No, that's not how this works. You don't get to say, oh, no dividing us because it's somebody you like. If they're full of shit, you better find out. You better find out quick, because we're running out of fucking time playing around with bullshit. This is a fucking war, and we don't have time for toy soldiers. We need the truth. We need to be able to verify the truth, and anything else, go fuck yourself. I've always been clear on my show, in my talks. This is fact. I can back it up. We'd have 30, 40 pages. Christy Nance Taylor, Barbara Russler, Jennifer would pull everything together. They would pull this all together, all this information, and put it in my lap every night. We were the only show that was documented. Every ounce of the show was fucking documented. And we did this for years. Years. I've told you all these things before. But you go back to the guy who tells you look fucking pretty. You go back to the guy that blows smoke up your ass and tells you it's roses. You go back to that guy because you don't realize that you're worthy yet, that you're worthy of using your own mind, that you're worthy of your own beauty. You've been beaten down, and you finally think you're popping your head out of the clear, and you get smacked again by some other jackass that tells you what you want to hear. We're not supposed to know. That's the ego. Your ego's like, oh, I'm supposed to know what's going on around here. No, you're not. Most of us have had our heads up our asses most of our lives. Prove me wrong. Yeah, we're going to have the various person that says, oh, I've been awake since I was. I get that. And congratulations. It's been harder for you, by the way. And I'm not saying congratulations. I'm saying I'm sorry, because it's been harder for you than it has been the rest of us, because the longer you've been awake, the harder it's been. So for those of you who just woke up, get in fucking line, okay? And mind yourself. And most of the people that you're listening to, by the way, haven't been doing this for 18 years like I have, in terms of like on the internet, researching every day, awake, sharing all this information. They're Johnny come latelys. Get them in the back of the fucking line where they belong, and where they should learn how to do this and how to do it properly. Anybody with a fucking MacBook can do a podcast, can do a show. Look for the content. I'm not even showing my face right now. I used to show my face all the time. I just haven't. Don't have my studio set up yet. I half the time I just rather talk and let that be the focus, because that is the focus. Content is the focus. What is the content? How are we thinking about things? Trump, he brings up human trafficking in the speech today, the number one problem, when the Democrats think the number one problem is that we're not letting boys in girls' bathrooms. So when I hear things like this, when I hear things like Trump saying this, and I realize and I feel the closeness, if you will, the closeness of what we're experiencing, then it brings me to what is going to bring us all together. And I'm going to tell you, it's crimes against children. Q told us this back in 2018. Okay. Told us about Weiner and HRC and others. Crimes against children. Noose, saying then we're going to hang them if they didn't already. Huber, non-public. Clinton Foundation investigation ongoing. Connected, refer to Huber. The hired by Sessions in Utah. FBI protection of HRC, FBI criminal acts. They're going down. They already did. DOJ's texts, emails, national security. What does it involve? It goes back to Rod Rosenstein. It goes back to the FISA, the spying on Trump. Here, the awakening, most impressive, July 2nd, 2020. Maxwell's not big enough name to trigger a mass awakening. Counter argument: do not make statements based on assumption of worth and or value. Do not think today, but rather after today. One leads to another, to another, to another. One leads to many. Crimes against children equals common denominator, no matter political affiliation, mass population awakening. Have faith in humanity. This was in the summer of 2020 when those cities were burning, and Q is telling us, listen, folks, crimes against children is going to unite us all. We're going to realize who the bad players are here. And then in October says sometimes you can't tell the public the truth. You must show them. Only then will people find the will to change. You must show them. Crimes against children unite all humanity, cross party lines. Question mark. Difficult truths. Q. Folks, the guys over at Dr. Z, Script Keeper, and Nick Alvear of Good Lion Films, okay, they are going ballistic on Phil Godlewski. And did I lose you, Hawk? Damn it! I wanted you talking more than you did. I got on a rant, and he's only got a minimum. He's got a set amount of time on his. Here he is. He's back. Here we go. Hey, brother. Hey, can you hear me? All right, Hawk. Can you hear me? Okay. He's not back with us fully, but so at any rate, so these guys did this show tonight. It's the third one they did. Okay, and it's and I'm going to take you to it. Here we go. And I want to, Hawk, can you hear me?
We're watching.
Can you hear me, brother? You might be on mute, buddy. So this is, it's The Art of Horror, Part 3, Fildo Night Live, okay? And Dr. Z, Script Keeper, and Nick Alviar. So they are going full bore here, okay? And you see, this is so important because we need there are people that are saying, have been saying, I should say, that that they are not accurate about Godlewski, and who I used to call Godless Lusky, but he's kind of calling himself Godlessky. And but I put the Godless in there years ago, and so they're calling him out, but they're bringing you receipts. So for those of you who have fallen prey to this man and to others, pay attention, because if you've been blowing smoke up people's ass, this is going to happen to you, especially if you continue to keep people from really awakening to what's going on. Okay. And it's, I mean, it's just gold what they're dropping here. And there's a whole trailer. You can go to Good Lion Films, or you can go to Dr. Z, I believe is on Twitter, Script Keeper with a K, Script Keeper. And I don't think I could show this, but this is the movie that Nick is doing, and Script Keeper did this music, which is badass, by the way. Actually, if it was Script Keepers, I could probably play it, but I can't because I use Johnny Cash, and we're on other places other than Rumble right now. So, but the greatest fraud on earth, the Phil Godlewski story. Okay. This is happening. This is coming. I brought him up here, okay, Cat Williams earlier, because Dave Chappelle's saying his life is in danger because he's been calling out all the people like Kevin Hart and some of these other people that are being played and being used to lie to us. Hey, Hawk, are you back on audio now? You're muted still. But I wanted to get you to talk if you can. So, Hawk, I had just taken everybody back to Good Line Films and the art of the horror, and they're killing it. They're really doing good work, and people that fell for this guy are now seeing that they're bringing receipts. And they can see what I was talking about, I don't know, 3 years ago, whenever he came onto the scene. And I was going to the court documents then. And I was telling you, folks, they're out there. You can find them. So hats off to these guys for the work they're doing, and it's going to get worse for him. It's going to get a lot worse.
Yeah,
Hey, Hawk, do you have audio?
especially I think audio. Do I have audio?
Yeah, I can hear you, bud.
Me?
Yep, you're good.
One of the things in regards to Bill is going to be that they're actually now people that skate out of all their money. That is going to come back to him for the rest of his life. Not about it. Never mind the girl. That what he has done to viewers in regards to taking everything from them is that going to come back even harder. And the thing is he's still on probation for the stuff with the girl. So this is something, especially if they end up laying the proof out in regards to the deaths being directly attributed to families being scammed out of every penny. It is going to come back to bite them in a way that is not only will they get them for fraud, but they'll get them for violation of probation, all this other stuff, and it's gonna. Oh yeah, it's going to be pretty sight.
You know, it's here's the thing. If it's gonna this is not gonna get better for him. It's gonna get a lot worse. And I don't think you recover. You don't recover from something like this. You just don't.
No.
And although there are some other cons that I mentioned that I do not like, and that I have shown plenty of examples of why. It's not about my preference. It's not about me liking them or not. I've never met them. It's about them harming the movement that so many people think they're helping. And Phil's at the top of the list there. And it's going to be, but we also have to understand, if you gave Phil all your money, okay, you need to check yourself. Because if you just blame him, okay, you're not growing as a human being. And if you
we all have to
you got to do a self check. We got to be held responsible for our actions. We've got to start. That's the revolution that people don't get. People think that, they're pointing fingers around. That's going to change the world. It ain't. Self-reflection, going inward. That's the only way this is going to create lasting change. And so, yeah, we got to point these guys out, but we got to take stock. Okay. You've got a guy who's got you involved in so many things, or they're charging you to watch them or what have you. Folks, Hawk and I have spent countless hours for free. Without donations, I'd be in a lot of trouble. So do I need donations? Abso-fucking-lutely. Because I spend an inordinate amount of time doing this. An inordinate amount of time. So yeah, I'll drop a give, send, go. I'll drop a Cash App. Okay. Because if you like this content, if you like my voice, then you should support my voice. It should be an exchange of energy here. Okay. I'm letting you in my heart, my mind, my home. BYOB. Bring a bottle of wine. Bring some flowers. Bring an hors d'oeuvre. Okay. And do the same for Hawk. And all he asks is for hors d'oeuvres for his dogs. Okay. And and his gasoline for his generator so that he can actually come to you like he does.
Hey, don't say hors d'oeuvres too loud, because then they're going to think that you guys are sending some burglars over. They're going to get to go to town. All right.
Yeah.
So don't mention hors d'oeuvres. All right.
So this isn't about
Just talk
this
about
isn't about this isn't about, it's about finding people that are not telling you what you want to hear and are giving you some hard truths and also are giving away the information. This is the new media, is that you put the money where you find value. You put money in the direction of value, and value grows. Right now, the money is not being sent to the right people. It's being sent to all the wrong people. And most of those people, they have beautiful homes and multiple homes, and they don't rent, and they don't scrape by, and they don't eat ramen. Okay. But you're listening to two guys that are on like shoestrings that should be richer than all of them because of the truth and the content that we curate for you, and then challenge you to make sure that we're not wrong. Challenge us. I've told you, listen, challenge everything you hear, especially what you're hearing right now. Because the thing that I loved about Q was the Socratic method that got the Anons thinking. Q didn't give us the answers. Q gave us the questions so that we could go find the answers ourselves. And it's still happening. It's happening with Q. It's happening with the News Unlocks the Map, with the deltas, with the quotes that Trump will say that will lead you into the dives. Just search the quote that he says multiple times, and you're going to be amazed at what you find. They do it with Ingersoll Lockwood. They've given us some clues. And the reason why they're giving us these clues, I've said multiple times, is because they know how heart-wrenching this is for us that are awake. They know that we're dying inside. They know that we're losing people. They know that we can't break people from the trance. And they're trying to let us know that you cannot tell people the truth. You must show them. And one of my other tweets just the other day, Hawk, jump in here. I'm just going to pull up one from that's not it. Shoot. This is
I like what you had to say with Tom McDonald. That was, and the thing is, I think you were completely classy about how you said it to him. Listen, if you want to get a real truther, come and talk to me. I'd love to do an interview with you. Why would you go with this shill, Ben Shapiro?
Yeah,
we've all heard what Ben is doing over the years. Now, videos of content made at the colleges and things like that, him going against woke people, great videos. They are great content. But the fact of the matter is when it boils down to it, he's got one mindset, and that's where he stays. And he doesn't listen to, doesn't want to listen to anybody else's perspective, but again, I think that it's an agency setting the tone for it. I really
Yeah.
do. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something about Ben Shapiro tells all the way.
And so, yeah, and it's just it's a shame, just because it's not, because everybody has at one time or another fallen prey to somebody who comes along who we think is anti-establishment, and then we find out that he was establishment all along.
Yep.
But that he was set up to be anti-establishment. It's the controlled opposition narrative. So let me go to my other tweet, and this is a question. I have this question for everybody. Right now, we've got about 300 in the house, 305, and we got some over on Twitter, and I don't know what we've got on what do you call it, Rumble. 268, no, 457 on Rumble. So that's so I think we might be just around 1,000. Which used to be my smallest audience 3 years ago, by the way, if we ever got that little. But I also, people knew when I was coming on, and I knew I need to get back to letting people know. So let me take you to this tweet. And it's a question for everybody that's here. If Texas shut down the border 3 years ago, in other words, if Abbott did that, kept it shut, Biden challenged it, and the Supreme Court ruled on it in Biden's favor, would 25 states be standing with Texas right now? What if they did it 2 years ago or 1 year ago?
Nope.
Only at the precipice will people find the will, strength, and kill brackets to change and break the system of control, be free in kill brackets. It had to be this way. Those last two sentences were from Q. And because Q has said, well, let me go to this one first, that watch, wait a minute. No, this is the right one. We are at the precipice, swamp fighting back, remain calm. We are here for a reason. Patriots are in control. This is one of the mentions of the precipice, okay? Because Q has said many times, for many, you cannot tell them the truth. You must show them. Only at the precipice will people find the will, strength to change and break the system of control, be free. This is all about the system of control, okay? The MSDNC, the Twitter, Facebook, Google, control what you see and what trends. It's a digital echo that Q told us about. Think about that. Q told us about a digital echo because Twitter was putting out narratives. All these companies were putting out narratives that were then echoing throughout the halls of their platforms, and we thought it was the majority, or we thought that it was 50-50. Hollywood stars swarm to enforce trend echo. They would start it. Blue check marks swarm to enforce digital echo. Antifa swarm to enforce non-digital echo. They're out in the streets. Rage and emotion follow by those indoctrinated, echo controlled. Those are our friends and family. Define indoctrinate, to often repeat an idea or belief to someone in order to persuade them to accept it. Look at how many times it was repeated and repeated and repeated since we were children, since we were children, since we were children, since we were babies. Next, grab rage and emotion, organize platforms by indoctrinated and project as majority, zoom and enhance, narrow focus as mainstream. They did this over and over and over again. System of control. Many choose the path of least resistance. For many, you cannot tell them the truth. You must show them. So I'm saying here, folks, that we're at the precipice. And then blue 282 in the precipice, one of the precipice drops, takes us to watch the news. Leakers exposed. These people are stupid. I have a question. This is from an Anon. The 10 days darkness, when? Shutdown. Shutdown. That's going to be, is that the internet shutdown? Is it the shutdown of the border? We don't know.
It's the shutdown of the government.
Shutdown of the government. Okay. And this is, I've been bringing up these things at Dave Snedeker on Twitter, because this is the battlefield, my friends. You're looking at the digital battlefield right now. Okay. And more information is flowing there than any platform going right now. And by the way, Good Lion TV has the fall of Phil Godlewski, about 366 in that space right now. So if you want to pop over there and say, we were talking about him tonight, and we're still, please do. But my friends, this is the precipice. What's happening? So what I was going to say was, Hawk, David sent me a text, and he did a YouTube video where he went down to the border and just showed the razor wire.
Yeah.
Right. And
right.
And how ridiculous it was. Right. Just absolutely ridiculous. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Go ahead.
Ernest, on Rumble, it's on Rumble. All one word. Indoctrinate, all one word.
It's up. I have it up right now, Hawk, because you were breaking up a bit. There it is. The Indoctrination, all one word, on Rumble. The Indoctrination. I have over 220 videos on the Indoctrination going way back. It was Papa Sned's birthday yesterday, by the way. Thank you for those who reached out. And that was my father, and the Snedheads got to know him through a few of the shows. And so I celebrated his honor yesterday. So these are, these are some of our shows, and they go back, many pages, many years. And I've got over 1,100, but not all of them are on Rumble. So yeah, thanks for asking about that. And you can find me there now. This is David's video he sent me, and he had it on.
Does this look honestly like this would stop anybody? All you got.
So, were you getting audio on that?
Yes.
Because I stepped.
Yes.
Are you okay? Because I see if the listeners were, because I went to Chrome and I didn't think I could get audio on Chrome.
Yeah, I think you guys heard it, right?
Basically,
audio, yes. Yep, 5x5. Everybody's giving you a 5x5.
Okay. All right. Let me get back to it then. Glad for that. It's real brief, folks, but just watch what he's pointing you to here.
On the other side is walk over. This is what it's all about right now. Is this razor wire? This razor wire is stopping nobody. Look, all you gotta do, if you're on that side, snip the wire. That's it. This is all it is right here. This is all it is. That's what all this is about. But what it's doing is sending a message. All it's doing is sending a message to the other side saying, hey, we don't care. It's a free-for-all. Come on in. That's all it's sending. That's all it's doing is sending a message. But if you look at how pathetic this really is, all this really is. Easy just to come over here. It's so easy. Show all that. The main concern for me is how there's no water. There's no water in the river at all. I mean, it's easy just to walk over, as you can see. And Governor Abbott, for 3 years, have just been letting people in millions at a time, and now he's making a stand over this. Over this? That's what this is all about? I'm just trying to put it in perspective for people. That's all I'm trying to do. The truth is the truth, no matter how it looks. And that's the truth. Take a look at it one more time. This is what it's about, America, right here. This cheap wire that they can come over here and cut themselves.
That's it. And that's the so here's the thing on that. Okay, now this is I'm glad David went down there and checked that out and thought to send it to me. This is the thing about this that's important to understand. Now, if you're in this, all right, you might be driving a truck down, or you might be getting involved, and you might be caught up in the indoctrination of it all, the back and forth of it all. Even David is, okay? And I'm here to tell you that I believe, based on my research and based on the Q drops and everything that's being exposed right now, is that you can't tell people the truth. You must show them. Nobody gives a fuck about the border if it's not affecting them. That's human nature. Nobody cares. Okay? But guess what? Send a bunch of people into New York, illegal immigrants. Send them to Chicago. Send them to LA. Send them all around. Send them to Martha's Vineyard. Remember when this all got started? Okay? This isn't about the razor wire. Okay? This is a planned event that if the black hats planned it, the white hats allowed it. If the white hats planned it, the black hats had no say in it. But why did they do it? Because most of the population are a bunch of dumb fucks. That's why. Most of the population are completely indoctrinated. And they don't know they are. They're good little slaves. And we were once too. So let's have some compassion for all, but understand that it had to be this way because people needed to wake up. My friends, I have said, if the jab, the CV jab that has murdered countless people, including my father and my brother, if the only thing that accomplishes is that it stops childhood jabs and it makes parents start to really do their homework and research and realize we don't need any. Don't tell me, oh, some are good. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. We don't need any. None. We are human beings with an incredible, incredible system that takes care of us and protects us. And we are not any better for putting neurotoxins, heavy metals, formaldehyde, glyphosate, high fructose corn syrup, any of this crap in our system. We don't need any of it. And look at what's happening. The medical establishment has to crumble to the ground. The university system has to crumble to the ground. The ivy-covered walls must be pulled back into the ground across the board. Nurses, doctors, professors, systems, analysts, insurance companies, they all have to fall. Pharmaceutical, fall. All of it, every system. The incarceration camps that we call prisons and justify putting people behind bars for nonviolent offenses. And then we let violent offenders and rapists and pedophiles run free. What is wrong with us? Hawk, go ahead.
You're giving me heart palpitations there. You started talking about all the ingredients in Doritos, and I don't know if I can handle it, man.
Hey, remind me.
So
Nobody's ever seen this before, but I did a Doritos commercial. It was, Crash the Super Bowl, and all, if you're an amateur filmmaker, you can, submit an entry, and you could be picked to be one of the Super Bowl commercials, and you get paid big bucks. And I entered that years ago with a commercial, and it was a Doritos commercial. I think you'd like it.
yeah, do you remember Jay Leno? Do you remember Jay Leno doing the Doritos commercials? And he was like 20 years old then.
Yeah, I think I do now.
Yeah, he was like my original Doritos guy. But
look at his comment from Benjamin. The only chip going in me is Doritos.
So, because you were talking about the border there, and played the video. This is the one that I was talking about. That came out, that I thought you might find.
This isn't going to work off your phone, dude. I'm gonna have to pull it up.
Oh, here, I'll share it. I'll share it on there, and then I'll share it on there. Then you can pull it up. There we go. Share. Oh no, it's a read. Boom. And you'll pull it from there. Yeah, that's why I said I can't play videos when on the hotspot. It just really, really, really stinks. Now this guy, he does comedy.
And we lost Hawk. Unfortunately, let me see if I can find this. I don't know if I'm going to have time, actually. I'm going to have to jump here soon and pick up my daughter. My friends, if you haven't seen this, check this out, maybe after the show tonight. And that is the Art of Horror Part 3, Phildo Night Live. Let me see if I can find what Hawk was trying to pull up here. Oh boy. I just have too much going on. That's one of the problems, my friends, with just going on my laptop like I'm doing right now. I normally have 2 or 3 screens up, and I'm able to manage my pages a little bit better. So my apologies for. By the way, speaking of the vid, okay. Yeah, I gotta pull that up separately. Let me. I think you're back, and I need to find that particular deal here, and let's see. Yeah, I didn't share that one, but I bet Hawk did. So let me find it at Hawk's. Here it is.
Wow. What? Half a mile. What's going on, guys? I know y'all come to my page because of the comedy, and I just play around on here. And I don't get political very often. Sometimes I have some things to say about things. I live in Texas. I was just in Eagle Pass, and I've got some videos I need to show you guys because you're watching the news, whether it's CNN or Fox, you're letting these news media idiots get you riled up against each other. Let me show you some videos that might just calm your ass down and make you turn off the TV. Watch this. All right, so this is the wall, the fence that we put up. And they put up a secondary fence because they opened the gates. There's some armed guards with some pretty serious weaponry. Pretty intimidating, right? Here's your razor wire in between the two bridges that are in the entrances into Mexico and also the entrance to Eagle Pass. There's some Hummers, some more guys, right? We're protecting, we're keeping them out. This is 0.5 miles from that area. 0.5 miles from where they set up their cameras. 0.5 miles from where they have all the people there. And it's right down the road. I left this long to show you just how short of a drive it is for us to get to a point where all that we just saw does not matter, and they're just getting you riled up against each other because it's election time. And right about here is where you're going to see it. What's that? Where are the armed guards? Where are the AR-15s? Where's the razor wire? Where's the gates? That's half a mile from where the media is blowing up that Texas versus the feds, that we're having this big battle. So that was one gate. That was the very first gate that I saw. We drove down a little bit more. There's one. It had a chain on it. So you keep driving down the road. You got Trump's wall doing its job. This one has never even had a gate. So to me, doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, libertarian. It doesn't matter what you are, and you're posting about this Texas versus the feds, and we could have a civil war. I'm telling you right now, if a civil war breaks out, it's not because there's something good to fight over. It's because it's election time. It is because the news media is corrupt, and you need to turn the TV off. I don't care what news media you watch. Just go down there and look yourself. Go look. The things that they are saying that the feds and Texas are fighting about is a stretch that is not even a mile. How long is the border? They can just walk right over, and those gates keep going and going and going and going. I know you're thinking, well, just two gates. No, they're all open all the gates. It's a whole hoopla over this little bitty section in Eagle Pass in between a bridge and a bridge. Only place that there's guards. So if you can't get in half a mile of our border, you just walk down the road and you go across the border there. All you folks posting about this, you picked a side and you think you're doing the right thing. But all of you need to reevaluate the country you live in and the information that's being given to you. Because I wanted to be on the Republican. I wanted to push on the Republican side. Hell, I'm from Texas. I'm in the middle no matter what usually, but I wanted to lean towards that side. And once I got down there, I was like, nope, I don't know. Believe what you want to believe. But I recorded those videos. No one sent me that. I don't know what else to tell you guys, but turn the TV off.
That's legit, my friends, because why? So, first of all, Hawk, do you have your voice back?
I hope so.
There you go. You're good. Well, listen, I shared that. That's your gig. Tell
Yeah.
me what your take is on that and why that struck you.
Well, this is why I've been telling people, well, we've been telling people for years, be careful who you follow, okay? Because I believe that there are people definitely trying to lead people into a J6 type of trap. And I think that's that it's kind of burdensome to those of us who just basically, we find the truth, we deliver the truth, and we leave it at that. you know we you know uh I mean, before you went to DC, you talked about going to DC, you encouraged people to go to DC, but when you encouraged it, it was, we're going in support of Donald Trump. you know well, when we look at this type of situation, people who are going to Texas are going there in support of the National Guard, who are guarding the border. Well, the thing is they're only guarding a half a freaking mile. You know, and there's absolutely no activity in those other spots. So is the invasion as big as they really say it is, or are they just moving large groups of people around to make it appear that there is an invasion going on? Because like you said, enjoy the show. you know uh we've got to be able to discern between what's the movie and what's reality.
Well, yes. And I think that here's the thing. The cabal has been using propaganda for many, many, many generations, whether it be using the Gutenberg press for disinformation or using stories, myths, legends, medicine women, medicine men. Since the beginning of human history, people have been exposed to propaganda. And the mechanisms used to control the mind have been clear. When you look back and you're a Monday morning quarterback and you're looking back on the weekend football games, and you can see clearly the outcomes, even though you really can't see even those, because now what's being exposed with World Wrestling Federation, Vince McMahon being exposed and being called out for abuse, sexual abuse. It's exposing the NFL. The NFL is being exposed as a larger version of the WWF and the WWE. Scripted conflict. And when I mention all those, the institutions have to crumble, NFL's going down, NBA's going down. These institutions, they have to all crumble because they were all involved in the genocide of their fellow man. They all have to die. This is not extreme. This is the only way forward. Because if we let anybody slide, we got to let everybody slide. If you were involved consciously or subconsciously in the decimation of humanity and the the orchestrated effort to destroy humanity. You don't get to go forward into the promised land with us. You don't get to enjoy the fruits of a beautiful humanity, one in which people treat each other like they themselves want to be treated. And we're not going to have to worry about our kid riding her bike home from school, because the penalty for even fucking thinking about doing something to that child is going to be so fucking heinous that nobody would ever want to get caught doing anything unforsaken to the most innocent of us all. Right now, they're getting away with it. Why? Because the whole judicial system is made up of them. They're criminals. They're taking us, dragging us through the British accreditation, the British law, the British crown, the British rule of law. We are beheld to these people through a system that they created in order to control us. They all must fall. Every last fucking one of them. This is war. And the use of razor wire, as absurd as we have just seen just by 2 videos, you mean the guys that are financed and driving new SUVs to drop off people closer to the border? Are you telling me they can't throw fucking razor cutters in there and just open it up and drag it out? This is a joke. This is a show. I mean, they've got tabs on all these cats. If they let them in to this country, the white hats are watching them closely. And they're going back. But they had a job to do. And I believe the job could get ugly because people are still saying, oh, we should keep our doors open. And I would just challenge anybody that thinks that we should keep our border open as it is now. Sleep with your door open tonight. Keep the porch light on. Open up the door and let them in. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I'm going to get us canceled, dude. That was so close to the original. Like that might have thrown up some red flags right there.
Someone's knocking at the door.
The door.
Somebody's ringing the bell. Do me a favor. Open the door. Let him in.
Let him in. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be careful who you open that damn door for. It's you got to be careful who you. Well, I think your singing voice is in prime condition to sing "Happy Birthday" to Melvita.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Melvita. I hope that all your dreams come true.
There you go.
Melvita. There you go. Glad we had that warm up. You know, brother, I don't know how much time I got, but I want you to talk about anything else that you've been just, jumping at the gate to get your voice out here that has been hindered by this jackass of a company.
Oh, you're so Lord, you're so not kidding. It really is the most annoying. I can't. Honestly, Facebook. When Facebook banned me, I didn't really miss it. But after doing these podcasts, that's a totally different story now. It's there's just so much. And to be cut off like that is just like really bad. Um, the reports coming out in regards to Georgia, Fulton County, the 486,000 votes that they discovered. That's an interesting one. Then there is another one.
Hey, Hawk. Hey,
Yeah.
Hawk. What are you talking about? They said that this was all disproven. It was a fair election.
I beg to differ that now that Miss what's her name, the shyster prosecutor there that hired the shyster boyfriend
Fanny
prosecutor.
Willis's Fanny. Is that
Well,
the one you're talking
yeah,
about?
that's the one. Yeah, I think she's pretty occupied now.
Willis's Fanny, yeah.
Willis's Fanny. Yeah. She's got a little.
Listen, man, I think she's a hell of a
She's
gal.
got a little.
I think she's a hell of a gal. She's fighting against the man, Hawk. And if you don't believe her and her concubine, okay, lead investigator, if you don't believe them, you're racist. I'm sorry, but I have to say it.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
It's funny that the Nevada state senator just, says 130,000 people voted illegally in Nevada. And they're just releasing that information. That was just up on Jesse Waters there up on Fox News there. So, for all these lies to be easily,
they don't take too kindly to they don't take too kindly to card counters in Vegas, and I guess they don't take too kindly to accurate ballot counters either.
Well, no, of course not. Of course, that would not be. That just wouldn't be good.
And how about Trump back in Vegas right now? Trump's in Vegas right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, what's funny is he's back in Vegas the day after he got shysted by the New York courts there with her name, E. Jean Carroll. Who in the hell has a letter for a first name? E. Jean Carroll. It's like, kind of thing. And that's Trump's lawyer came out, after the hearing saying, and it was to, did a defense attorney have to turn over a list of questions that they were going to ask their client, their witness, so that they could be pre-approved by the court. Never happened before in my life.
Did you know, by the way, you're cutting out quite extensively, unfortunately. So I don't know if there's anything you can do on your end, but E. Jean Carroll has two names that start with one letter. She has another alias, A Lion Bitch.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's her. Oh my Lord, they're one and the same. I thought that they were like twins or something.
Yeah. So hopefully you know, she is, what a piece of work, man. Listen, enjoy the show. Think about this, Hawk. 100 times Q said enjoy the show, and E. Jean Carroll is playing out law and order script after she had already said in her tweets that she loves watching Law and Order reruns, and the rape scene in Law and Order was at the dressing room in a Bergdorf Goodman store in the show.
But her favorite show to watch of all time was what?
Oh, The Apprentice.
Oh, no, it can't be. No. Come on, you're
you know what?
Pulling my leg.
You know what, Hawk?
I think
was so.
I'm watching The Apprentice right now. What's your favorite show?
Dude.
So the guy that raped you is the guy that you're series stalking, I guess. Would that be what that would be considered? Series stalking? You know, stalking the guy who stalked you, you know, kind of thing. Yeah.
It's like unbelievable. Like, she's so devastated. She's so devastated by the rape that it's her favorite show. The guy who raped her. I mean, this is
if that's not Stockholm syndrome, I don't know what is.
What's that, brother?
If that's not Stockholm syndrome, I don't know what is. You know.
Well, it's
20 minutes
absolutely it's part of the show.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's just part of the show. Look at this. Look at her lawyer.
Yeah,
this is from Silver Girl, Angel of Yahweh. Look at her lawyer. Look at this dude. I mean, come on, man. And by the way, the law, sexy beast, maybe. The law, the law that allowed her to sue, to go after Trump was put into law by this person and E. Jean Carroll.
Yep.
This is going to the next level, man. These are the people that created the law that they're now taking advantage of. It's unbelievable. Enjoy the show. I did another tweet, and I got to find it. Excuse me. Trying to get some food down, some water, but I got to. I'm going to take you through my string. Bullseye did a great one on Tim Pool, okay, and how he's promoting Ben Shapiro as the #1 rapper on iTunes, okay. You know, Bullseye, way to call him out, brother. This guy's legit, okay. At YouTube.
If I'd known that iTunes, if I'd have known that iTunes and auto tuning would make me millions, I'd have been in the business a long time ago. I'm telling you.
Well, here's the thing. You got to pay your dues, and those dues aren't something that you would be willing to pay.
You're right. Answer too tight.
Okay. I said this is from King Jimmy. Okay, who at Jimmy Shaman. He dropped this decode. Trump must pay $83.3 million to E. Jean Carroll. Here's 833. Okay, March 3rd, 2018. Reality is labeled as conspiracy. You are made to feel crazy. You are told to obey. You are sheep to them, pawns to be sacrificed. Remember, we are winning. Do not trust what you read. Mind warfare. Up is down, left is right. Boom. Okay. Where did that $83.3 million come from? I'm telling you that this is part of the show. This has been orchestrated, and they're telling us this. And I said, well done to King Jimmy. We are living a world of comms. We just need to look past the surface of what we see. They are speaking to those of us who are awake because those awake are leading the most difficult lives right now. Okay. Nice one, Joe. Joe Rambo, a Law and Order episode, you say. And then he did a dive into Loyalists critical, a counterattack to the first Law and Order strike, prepared and ready in effort to change the narrative, prevent blind mass public awareness regarding coordinated effort to remove sitting U.S. POTUS, covertly disrupt COC regional comm as needed, chain of command. Media plans to disregard, relabel as political attack, AG election interference, and inject script. Some commanding officers' executive orders may provide classification 199 that do not reflect those 1 of 99 of the POTUS or the AG of the U.S. Appropriate action should be taken. Remember your oath. Remember your mission. Infiltration, not invasion. Defend and protect at all costs. My friends, this is
David, did you think to mirror that 833 post? Did you happen to mirror that? Because
no,
you know
what?
that
Yeah,
the 338 is actually talking about you.
this ought to be good. Okay, hold on a second. Okay. All right, are you seeing that? Special. That's good.
You're special,
shoot,
Dave.
did
You're
I-
special.
Oh, I did another. I did a. I gotta show you guys that screen. That's good, buddy. Oh man.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that one. Yeah. Here it is, right here, guys. Special Q. Okay. Now, what I always like to do too is not just that, but what's Q talking about here? Because it does, mirrors do work. I mean, this is we're having some fun with it. But 337, it says December 13th, 2017, Patriots, rest assured we are in control. Okay, now, folks, think about this. I'm reading these drops every day. Hawk, I start doing my show, 2018? I think.
Yeah, 27. Yeah, 2018. Yeah.
Think
It
about
was,
think
yeah,
about
it was about 3 days after the first Q post came out.
think about the I don't think it was that soon. Was it? I honestly I can't remember. But at any rate,
I think it was like 30 to 60 days. Yeah, I think it was.
think about the fortification that I'm getting, right? Think about the fortification I'm getting by reading these. Watch, confirm, and disseminate. The country is not divided. This is fake news. Antifa was organized purely for optics regarding division. It's fake. Estimated 4 to 6% we consider hopeless and forever brainwashed. They already know. Q already knows. We're not getting everybody. 4 to 6%. Remember, they're looking through Yellow Cube. They're looking through Project Looking Glass, folks. Okay. And they're saying estimated 4 to 6% we consider hopeless and forever brainwashed. They've already seen the future. That's what we don't understand. That's what people don't get. They're sitting around listening to jackasses talk out of their ass when all these people have to do is go into the Q drops. But you know what? It's too damn hard to do that. And it takes a lot of time, which is why our shows were 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours long, because we went into every Q drop that was brought up through News Unlocks the Map, through the deltas, through the timestamps, through Scavino, through Trump's timestamps. Reread crumbs regarding slave grip the Dems have on the black population. Why is this relevant? Because they've controlled the vote of the inner city. Not fully, but enough that they need the black Democrat to vote Democrat to keep control of the cities. Why is this relevant? Why are jobs, economy, growth relevant? This requires a deep cleaning. These people are stupid. You are safe. Have faith. Now, let's talk about safe. Is my father safe? No.
Nope.
Is my brother safe?
Nope. Not unless you consider the arms of Jesus. You know,
Yeah.
that's the only way they're safe now, but they weren't safe when they were here.
Yeah,
You know?
I'd rather be him be in the arms of Dave.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, completely agree.
And then eventually, okay, his creator. But taken too soon. So were they safe? No. Were they listening to me? Would they listen to me? No. Were they reading the Q drops? No. They thought I was a fucking nutcase, conspiracy nutcase. Many of you still do. Many of you don't believe in Q. Many of you don't think that this is a show. And I'm here to tell you that if you're reading the drops, if you're really paying attention, you are staying safe and you're staying fortified.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the word fortified comes from? It comes from the root of a fort that humans used to build and still build that will protect a city, that will protect the inhabitants of it. And it starts with a fucking wall that we had at the southern border until they had to not only show what was happening here in the US, but look at how people are now talking about the Muslim invasion of Europe. The coordinated, orchestrated invasion of Europe by bombing the shit out of their countries and justifying a mass migration into Europe where they would disrespect the laws, disrespect the customs, demand their own laws, demand their own customs. You know, take the money from the coffers, take all the social programs, ruin the culture, rape the women and the children, and they were welcomed with blankets and bottled water and jobs and money and cell phones and whatever, because it was completely brainwashed into their population that they were doing humanitarian work. Meanwhile, the people that orchestrated it did it as a infiltration. In the past, they didn't have the media, the movies, the television, the news, the actors, the actresses, the musicians telling you you're a bad person if you don't welcome these people into your homeland. They didn't have all that back then. So when the Muslims needed to invade Europe, they were met with chainmail and swords and arrows and horses and chariots. And, you know, they were met with force. This is the greatest invasion of a continent that was ever created. And that was the migration to Europe. And now what we're seeing is the greatest invasion of a sovereign country that we've ever seen. And that is the United States of America. And it is happening to wake people the fuck up. And look what's happening. And it's also orchestrated to make us aware of our state power. By the way, abbots in India speaking of Viva Savarami and Runhamton Haley, okay, I think I pronounced those correctly. But speaking of them and this Indian invasion, Abbott's in India, while his state has one of the biggest conflict ever in possibly its history, and certainly during his tenure. But here's the thing. We know Abbott's WEF. We know Abbott is Klaus Schwab. We know he's a rhino. He does some things we like, some things we don't, but we know he's fucking controlled. Okay? If it was his decision and he was making a good one, he would have done this 3 years ago. Okay? That's what everybody was clamoring for then. The fact that it's happening now isn't him. It's Patrick. Dan Patrick, who is the one who promoted Trump, promoted the wall, was all about that, was against Biden and all this nonsense. He's the acting governor right now because our actual governor is out of the country. So look at the people involved. Sure, Abbott signed the agreement. Okay. Which, by the way, I've got to pull this up. You guys know, I take you to the Ingersoll Lockwood website. Okay. And you know that Ingersoll Lockwood has been dropping bombs. Okay. So let me take you back there. And let me take you to the final frontier. And if you click on dark mode up here, okay, I click on dark mode, which is an add-on extension for Brave or for Chrome, and you scroll down. There's a little thing down here. You can actually see it with the dark mode off as well. You see it here, but when you turn the dark mode on, you see all the other things light up that you want to click on. Okay, this is Ingersoll Lockwood. Remember, 3 L's in this. Okay, 3 L's. All right. Now we click on this, and I'll get back to that icon here in a minute. Okay. Now, I've been dropping Ingersoll Lockwood because they've been dropping gold. Okay. Gold, like real stuff, like real communication. And I have made the connection between this and Q through Space Force, which this site is all about. And it is legit. This is from Greg Abbott. Okay. That the federal government has broken the compact between the U.S. and the states. The executive branch of the United States has a constitutional duty to enforce federal laws protecting states, including immigration laws on the books right now. President Biden has refused to enforce those laws and has even violated them. The result is that he has smashed records for illegal immigration. Now, folks, we already know this if you're awake. If you're a puppet of the mainstream media, then you might still think that the border is not a big deal. But really, we are zeroing in, Hawk, on that 4 to 6% that Q was just talking about. Because you got to be an idiot if you don't see the problem at the border, if you don't see what's going on in the inner cities where they're shipping them, okay? You got to be an idiot. You've got to be completely brainwashed, and that's what Q says. So he's violated his oath. He's instructed agencies to ignore statutes that mandate the detention of illegal immigrants. These are federal statutes. He's breaking the law
Continuously. Knowingly.
Yeah, knowingly.
That's a word.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that we've got to keep reminding ourselves about. We already know it's not Biden. Okay? And if it's not Biden, then who installed this masked clown? The white hats or the black hats? Well, if it was the black hats, if it was really Obama pulling the trigger, which is what, the kind of the first level, all right, news is saying. Okay, the first level, like awake patriots, are telling you that Biden's controlled by Obama. No. No. Obama tried to pull that shit. Okay. But the white hats took control. And now Biden's and Obama is playing this out or being allowed to play out their nonsense, one of the two, by the white hats, so that we awaken to what's really going on here. So we know that he's been breaking the law. Okay. He's enticed illegal immigrants away from the 28 legal entry points along this state's southern border bridges where nobody drowns and into the dangerous waters of the Rio Grande. So, Abbott's already telling him he's also making it much more dangerous. Okay. Under his policies, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed our southern border in just 3 years. Folks, this is just Texas. This is Greg Abbott, governor of Texas. Doesn't take into account Arizona, doesn't take into account California. Those are pretty big fucking borders there too. And as we can see, the bad people are in charge of both in terms of on the surface of this situation. That's the case. I think it's all being played out for us as a show. Okay. In just 3 years, that's more than the population of 33 different states in this country. That's more than the population of 33 different states in this country, different, like individually. This illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm on the Pope all across the United States. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and the other visionaries who wrote the U.S. Constitution foresaw that states should not be left to the mercy of a lawless president who does nothing to stop external threats like cartels smuggling millions of illegal immigrants across the border. That's why the framers included both Article 4, Section 4, which promises that the federal government shall protect each state against invasion. The framers said that. And Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3, which acknowledges the state's sovereign interest in protecting their borders. So the states have a sovereign interest. Arizona versus United States, Justice Scalia dissenting. The failure of the Biden administration to fulfill the duties imposed by Article 4, Section 4 has triggered Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3, which reserves to this state the right of self-defense. For this reason, I have already declared an invasion under Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 to invoke Texas's constitutional authority to defend and protect itself. That authority is the supreme law of the land and supersedes any federal statutes to the contrary. The Texas National Guard, the Texas Department of Public Safety, and other Texas personnel are acting on that authority, as well as state law to secure the Texas border. Greg Abbott, governor of Texas. Pretty big deal. Also, pretty big deal that he's still in India and that he's not back here in the U.S. Okay, that's Ingersoll Lockwood. Now, I want to share two things. One, here, that little that little thing that I clicked on to get to this document, okay, this was the previous button there that led us to another graphic that I covered in a previous show that had the storm and the two boats and the and the I'll see if I still have that, but I don't know if I'm going to get into that tonight. But I want to show you, this is a little rat, and he's got Fauci glasses on, and he's got a Fauci lab coat, a medical lab coat. Could be Fauci, but it could also be any doctor that pushed the jab. But here's the name of this file. What, when, where, Fauci family tree. And I invite you all, I'm not going to give you everything, but I invite you all to research Anthony Fauci's family tree. And I'm going to start off with his wife, who's the head of ethics at the NIH, on whether or not it is ethically responsible to administer the jabs. Okay. That's fact. So that was the button on the Ingersoll Lockwood. Okay. Now let me see if I can find that. You got anything to add to that while I peruse my files?
Yeah, go for it, because DC Drano just put it all into perspective for me. Things I used to trust but no longer do: doctors, elections, vaccines, CDC, FDA, government reasons for war, the Pope, judges, military generals, FBI, DOJ. And I'm not alone. Tens of millions of Americans have awakened in recent years to how deep the corruption in our government has metastasized, like a cancer. Like a cancer. Everything that Dave's speaking is 100% truth. You know, and I'll tell you guys this right now. If I didn't know Dave and know his heart and his truth, he wouldn't be using my channels. You know what I'm saying? So you can pretty much consider that me having him on here is to tell you that, yeah, I trust him, you know, and I trust the information that he puts out, because he actually takes the time to look, and then he takes the time to make sure he points out to you, for you, where to look. It's way too important. You know, I wasn't going to go there, Ricky, but you know, there's some things that we got to be careful about, you know.
You know, this, by the way, thank you for that, Hawk. And we, you know, here's the thing. I know Hawk's not in this for the money. I know his situation. Hawk knows I'm not in it for the money. He knows my situation. We have made tremendous sacrifices to do what we're doing. And yet, it's what's important to understand is that it is necessary for us to survive. And it is necessary to ask for your help to do so, to continue what we're doing. Could not do it without you, because got to go get another day job. And guess what? I can't do the kind of shit that I do when I'm focused on this 100% of the time, like I have been. And so it is very, very vital to ask that question. And it's very, very vital, in my opinion. And you can disagree with me on this all you want. But there are two things that are very, very vital here. And one is the exchange of value that we need to start to understand is necessary for the coming new earth. That you're actually going to exchange with that person. I've said, you're in my home right now. You're in my mind, my heart, and I've welcomed you in. Just bring a bottle, bring something, right? Share this out. Share it with as many people as you can. Talk about what the things I've been talking to you about for 1,100 shows. 1,100 shows, all of them free. And you're paying for subscriptions and you're getting involved in things and all that. Come on, people. Direct the energy. Help me direct this punch, this 1-inch punch that I am laying on these sons of bitches that have been controlling humanity for eternity. It's not easy doing this, especially when you're getting knocked off PayPal. I'm getting knocked off Venmo and buy me a coffee. And you were talking about Facebook and how you got, terminated, but then took you a while, then you went back. Well, I got terminated. And then I went to my other channel, got terminated, went to another channel, got terminated, went to another channel, got terminated. Lost count, folks. YouTube, same thing. Instagram, nuked. Twitter, nuked. Why? Because before the white hats took control of Twitter and brought Musk in to make this transition, Twitter was a false battlefield. The information we were getting from Twitter was that we were 50-50 and that we were up against a formidable foe. They were all bots. Once we started engaging with them, the Anons started realizing that they were all bots. So the Anons, most of them, went to Telegram and waged the war on Telegram. I went to Telegram, but didn't really wage much of a war there because it was a bunch of fake accounts and you didn't know what the hell you were getting. People were showing up with names and you didn't know who the hell they were and you didn't know if they were legit or not. And all along, the name you see on your screen, David Snedeker, is my name. I'm not hiding from anything. And I'm out there at the tip of the spear. And let me tell you, folks, it's not fun. And it's not easy. And you don't get rewarded. I haven't gotten any medals, haven't gotten any accommodations. But man, have I fought like a son of a bitch. I have fought my ass off. And Hawk's doing the same damn thing. And I'm telling you, we've got to shift not just the way of our thinking around who we follow, not just the way of thinking and how we're getting our information. We've got to shift where we are directing our financial energy and not be so loose with it. And if it's not me, do me the favor and vet the hell out of the son of a gun that you're sending it to. Because guess what? We as humanity have a shitty track record when it comes to vetting our sources, because we have brought in more devastation to our society and to our culture than we ever thought possible. And instead of pointing fingers, we just got to look inward. We got to realize that we were a part of this. We created this reality. Nobody else. We did. We did. And you know what they're throwing at us? Fucking rap music.
Yep.
From a Jew who justified genocide in Gaza, and what a surprise, in an industry controlled by the Jews. What a fucking surprise. And what a surprise that they used Tom McDonald to garner your support, and then turned around and had him just sell out right in front of you. And you know what? Most of the people don't even get that. Most people don't get that. Okay? They don't get it. Okay? This is just another level of warfare that we don't quite have a handle on. It's a damn shame. And they're shutting us up one way or another.
Yep. And it's going to get, it's going to get heavier. It's going to get faster. And get more channels built up, because of the fact that we know that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Especially the closer we get to the election time. And the more that, the closer we get to event time, you know, and that event is going to be the one that's finally totally enlightens the masses. You know, do I know what it is? No. Does Dave know what it is? No. But we know that there's going to be an event.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Shadow of Ezra is the one that made me hip to Abbott in India, and how Dan Patrick is the acting governor. All right, so hats off to Shadow of Ezra.
Now, what happened? Wasn't there another governor that disappeared, and the lieutenant governor had to step up and ended up doing some pretty patriotic things too? Couldn't be that Hobbs lady. Do you remember that, when Katie Hobbs disappeared for a while?
Trying to think what happened. No, I'm not thinking.
Yeah, Katie Hobbs disappeared for like a month or something like that, and her the line of succession. Stepped in.
And okay, right. Yeah, that was wild. Maybe
and that was announced, by the way, about her stepping up to run for office, by the way. Michelle Obama.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was put out there today. Yeah, it was. There was
by who? By who?
There was an exploratory thing. It was put out by one of the lamestream medias. I'm thinking it's Fox that put it out. But I saw the clip this morning.
No, you know what it was? Wasn't it what's her name? Oh shoot, what's it? Megyn Kelly, I think, put out something on that, and of course,
she used to be with Fox, right?
Yeah, she used to be with Fox, but she's now on her own. I mean, she's completely compromised. Obviously, she's the one that gaslit James Alefantis, and then took a $20 million paycheck to go to NBC. This is hilarious.
Yeah,
I can appease some peace. But I gotta jump here. I gotta go pick up my daughter. She had a dance tonight, and so I gotta go pick her up, and then But any parting words, my friend, before we go? And folks, please share
Well,
this
just
out.
don't forget me, guys. Don't forget me. I'll be back as soon as I got internet. Believe me, we'll be back to slamming info. I'm not going to say intel. We'll be slamming information as quickly as quickly as I can find internet back. I'm sorry I can't be trying to
Shoot, you're breaking up again.
Yeah.
You're breaking up.
I love
again,
you
bro.
guys very much, and yeah. All right. I don't know what to tell you. I love you all.
Yeah. That's all you got to say, brother. I love you too, man, and I'm so grateful for you. And folks, this is and Hawk, I want to do something. I want to try to get back on track here. Let's do something again tomorrow night, and keep this ball rolling. And certainly on as me hosting on your channel until you get your stuff back up and running. Yeah, let me know if you just need to get on and I haven't reached out. Let's make it happen. So because I need to get things rolling, and I need we got some stuff we got to take care of ourselves. And so I ask everybody, share this out, talk about the things we're talking about with other people, let them know where we're at. Listen, there are people that are right now finding out that they are following the wrong people. Okay, help them to find the right people. Okay, and let them know why you listen to us. Let them know why you've followed us for years and years and years. And in the meantime, this is the Schumann resonance, which is off the charts right now. So I think this is much bigger than the matrix that we're primarily talking about. And I believe I put out a sunrise video the other day. I'm going to be doing more of that, about you being able to tap in and turn on and connect with the sun, connect with the world, connect with your now, and dispense with the things that are meant to enslave your mind. Free your mind. Love your mind. Take care of your mind. Expand your mind. This is all something that we can do together, and we're going to be the change. We're going to be the ones that usher in a new reality, a new earth. And it's not going to be anything like what the Kabbalists think are going to happen. It's not going to be any of that. This is about humanity awakening from the slumber and taking our divinity through our lives and into the afterlife. And yes, my friends, so please reach out, please support, please share. I love you. Hawk, good night. Until we see you again, be well, keep your head on a swivel, and yeah, don't take any wooden nickels.
Well,
all right. See ya. Good night, buddy. Thank you, man.
All right, guys. Yeah, you guys have a great night. What Dave said there, spread the truth. And we'll be back with you again tomorrow night. I don't expect to have internet back by then, because my guys don't work on the weekends. So maybe Monday or Tuesday, I might get internet back. And we'll go from there. Just remember, God loves you. Jesus loves you. We love you very much. And keep yourself in prayer, and keep yourself focused. All right. Peace.